because I was sick. I was fully dying, and I was now living off of painkillers. Right? I was living off of painkillers and emergency. Right? I was just trying to drudge through it. So I called in sick from work. I'm like, yo, I am not going to be able to make it. I'm out for the count today. You'll see me tomorrow. I can't stay home. No. They made plans. So apparently now I'm about to go on a boat ride. They already bought my ticket. They already said everything. It's already planned out. Forget Jordan and how he see the note. We pressing. So I am shoved in the car. Pop some more painkillers, I think, at that point. More emergency. And I'm like, alright, let's go. Let's do this. Right? So I'm on this boat ride. We're warming up. It wasn't instant vibes. Right? But no one was like super stush. It was just, you know, everyone's still all in their groups or whatever. Everyone's slamming. Then it starts to pick up. Starts to get wild. Vibes start going on. Everything's going. We're good. And then, I'm sorry to say, but that DJ was absolute shit. He was horrible. And he wasn't even live DJing, as I realized after. This man had a mix playing. So we're on the boat ride, and it's like, wildness happening, wine and jam, the works. And then, man starts playing songs from like 2017, 2018. Man, it with some old calypsos, and I'm like, dog, it's 2020. I want to hear 2020 soca. What is going on? Why am I not hearing 2020 soca? What is your deal? Where did they find this man from? Get rid of him. Throw him off the boat. Let me plug in my phone and play. I don't care. Just why? So all of that is going on. And eventually I get fed up. So I go to the bottom of the boat and I'm just chilling. Because A, this DJ is shit now. And B, his mix literally restarts. He literally restarts the mix. His playlist finishes and he's like, he just restarts it, right? So it starts over from again and I'm like, I'm not doing this. This man is trash. And I'm not spending our energy on a trash DJ. Right? So all this goes on, and eventually we get off the boat. And do we go home? No, we pressing Panorama now. And I'm like, alright. If we pressing, a pressing is a bunch of Invaders Die Hard. Right? Like, born and bred, grew up playing with Invaders, everything. So, of course, we push in Pan with Invaders. So we pushing Pan, crossing the stage, doing all the works. I recorded some of it, had a good time. Right, so after Panorama is done now, we leave and we go home. And I'm like, alright, this is it. I could catch a little 1-2 vibes, a sleep, a snooze. Nah. Again, with like a couple hours sleep, because reach back home and we're like, alright, we pressing sunny side up in the morning. And I'm like, excuse? You pressing sunny side up? I still have to go to work, so I'm like, I wonder if I could dress in a way where I could pull off, go into a fit, and then go into work right after. I think I pulled that off really well. It was a good buffer, right? So it wasn't like too much vibes and energy spending, but it wasn't stitch. It was like a mediocre aight, because it's Sunday, right? It is Sunday, Carnival Monday is tomorrow. So it's like a good buffer, everything's fine. It's chill. Nothing too extraordinary, but it wasn't bad either. Be 100% leave the fit and then go to work as promised, and I am still popping painkillers and emergency, right? I'm just down in that shit. However, at this point, I think that was the last day I had to. That was the last day of me feeling like I'm dying, right? Because Carnival Monday hit. That was a different story altogether. Jesus Christ. Sorry, one. I reached home from work around 9. I can't even remember how I got home. Just remember reaching home. And it gave me enough time to pack and prep everything, right? Make sure I have everything, make sure I have my bag of figuring out what I'm gonna sacrifice to the Juve gods. And yes, I do mean that very literally. Every year I sacrifice a pair of sneakers to the Juve gods, right? And typically a pants too, or whatever else. I'm trying to figure out what I sacrifice into the Juve gods. And this is Julian's first Juve, right? My plan was, I'm sorry about outing people, right? The plan was, Kieran gets me and Julian, we get Justin, we go by Chris, Muhis would already be in his car, and that's the plan. From there, we go, Chris drops us off by the stadium so we don't have to park there, because we're playing with Juve Jumbies and Juve Jumbies is meeting in the stadium, right? That was the plan. It didn't go that way at all. So what really happened, so Kieran pulls up by 12, Julian and I walk outside. We go to the car, I open the door, Kieran watches me and he's like, who's this? I'm like, what do you mean who's this? Bro, I told you he was coming. But the problem was, Kieran had 2 people that we didn't know about in his car as well. So we were like, what do you mean who's this? Who are these people? So now, this car already has 4 people in it, and 2 more are trying to get in at the moment. I'm like, okay, we can make this work, right? But then we still have to get Justin. We could squeeze and we could make this work. Just hope we don't end up in a roadblock or any police officer sees us, and we'll be good. And all of us are packed in Kieran's car like sardines. Like it's a mess. We reach by Chris now. And new problem. There's too much of us to fit in Chris's car reasonably. Right? And Chris is our driver. So now, and we're not gonna make Chris make 2 trips. So it's like, okay, what do we do? I guess that means we walk in to the stadium from Cascade. So much of me thinking I'll get some sleep. I probably lie down. I didn't even sleep. I probably just lie down for like 10-15 minutes. And then that was it. We're on the move again. We're going down, we're walking through, cutting through Savannah and drinking as we go. I'm trying not to get too much up on drinks because I don't want to have to pee just yet. But, oh, I couldn't find a bucket. I was really upset at first because I really wanted a bucket to put on my head. And it may not make sense to a lot of people who are watching this video, but a big part of my art and a big character that revolves around though is in my art is a man with a bucket on his head. No, we didn't even reach the stadium. We reached the end of the savannah. We reached by like ovalish side. And Kieran is like, hey yo, we're gonna check the avenue, lime there, then we'll meet you all there back up in the band. So Kieran, Muhiz, and his two friends, they go to the avenue. And me, Justin, and Julian continue on our way to the stadium to lime, meet up at the band. At this point, I don't know anyone else in the band, right? My assumption and thing was I was playing with more boys, alright? And then that was it. We're fine. We're safe. So I'm thinking I have a whole crew there. Didn't go that way. We did not see Kieran and Muhiz or anybody else for the rest of the day. Right? They did not reach the band. That was it. However, Martin held true to his word and he showed up in the band. We met him there. Bounced him up a couple times. Great thing about Juve Jumbies though, and 10 out of 10 would recommend and would do it again. And I am going to do it again once COVID permits that as a thing. Is there was so much people there that I knew. I didn't know I knew them at the time that they would be there. But there was so much people there and so much familiar faces, and it was vibes. It was a lot of vibes and it was so much fun, right? And so I'm floating, all of us are just floating and we're going, having a good time. Eventually I see one of those paint trucks passing, you know, the ones that hand out paint, and I see a bucket on the back of this truck. So I run to the truck, I pick up the bucket, I put it on my head, I'm like, bet. Mission complete, the prophecy is fulfilled. I have a bucket on my head and I couldn't be happier. That's all I wanted. That's literally all I wanted. That bucket on my head. So now I have a bucket on my head and I'm living my best life. Right? There was some point where I saw people up on a wall. And this could be my mother's own temptation, but my mother has said to me numerous times, I see you as being one of those wild people who would be up on somebody's wall for Carnival. And before I used to tell myself, nah, I wouldn't do that. Me climb up on somebody's wall and doing wildness? Nah. And then I saw it and I was like, you know what? You're right, you know. So I climbed up on this wall covered in paint. I'm just like living my best life, going at it, right? And we're there, we're having good fun. Everything was fine. Everything was good, right? I eventually find Justin again, and Justin's gone. And Justin comes and he hugs me and is like, where'd you get a bucket on your head? But let's name her Tiffany, right? And her boyfriend Brad. They're gone too. Like at this point when I'm seeing a bunch of people, everyone's gone. So Brad has a whistle and he's trying to blow the whistle. But Brad is so gone. He's blowing this whistle out of time. Like he's just like blowing it wild all over the place. Brad is living his best life. And Tiffany isn't any better. Tiffany's like, nah, you're blowing it all the time and giving it to me. So she takes the whistle from him and she's trying to blow it. She can't blow the whistle either. And not that she can't blow it in time, and she's just so gone, she can't blow the whistle. I've never seen somebody so gone that they can't blow a whistle before. yeah. So that essentially sums up that Juve experience, and it was amazing. It was so much fun, right? Slight vex because I wanted to hear more music from 2020. Like, give me some 2020 soca. I got bits and pieces, but not to the amount that would have been good. You know, it was just like brushes of it and like a bunch of old soca. I was like, no, we have new soca this year. Give me the new soca. So that was my only beef, right? But we had so much fun. Julian, at some point, I lost him, and Julian found me back, and he's like, you have a bucket on your head. You're the only person in this band with a bucket on your head. How hard do you think it's going to be for me to find you anymore? Like, I'm going to spot you easy. I've spent every Juve. I don't know why, but this has just been my hype, but I've spent every Juve that I've done thinking or trying to see if I could find Maya in that whole mess, although we're playing in completely different bands and they're off doing their own thing and I'm off doing my own thing. Part of me just wanted to see every year if I could see Maya. If not in the roadblocks with her, like on the road or something. And I think this year was the closest I ever came to doing it. Still haven't done it. Maybe one year I'll do it. We'll see. So that was basically it, right? Head back by Chris, and we still haven't found Kerwin and Mohes or his friends for the day. And suddenly we realized, wait, how are we getting home? Changing plans from what we thought. So we had to call Julian's dad to come get us from by Chris. I wanted to take pictures of the Mocha Jumbies, but Julian was dead. He wanted to go back home. So I went home with him. And I was like, you know what? I'll go home, I'll clean up myself, and I'll just pop back down later into town to take pictures if I feel like, you know, get some cool carnival shots. Needless to say, because I reached back home, I touched my bed and that was it. I knocked out. I was up at first, I made it all the way up, awake for the car ride, and then I knocked out. And I wake back up until like 4 or 5 o'clock, and I was like, I can't go back home. I need to keep moving or I'm going to crash. So that was that. And Carnival Tuesday was with the Mocha Jumbies, but I will save that story. And that same thing is what makes me want to do more for this year, if I can, or whenever I can again. But yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling and it's an amazing experience. Like, subscribe, share. You know how it goes. Let people know the scene. Share them with my channel. Share my channel with them. Yeah, that's about everything. Leave some comments. I don't know. I'm still bad at ending these videos. And yeah. If you feel it, let me hear you say na na na. I know what I forgot. I think this will just be the after scenes video. I know. So much people saw that bucket on my head and they wanted it. They're like, that is genius, that is cool. And about 6 or 7 people wanted that bucket from on my head because like, that makes sense, that's a vibe. And I nearly had to fight a man who tried to take the bucket off my head. I know, that's my bucket. That bucket is precious to me. Do not touch that bucket. That bucket is my world right now. And it's symbolism and peace and artistic value that you cannot understand with me. Do not touch my bucket.